you back to our Tuesday program here on Channel 6. And of course, our major sponsor each Tuesday here on the program is South County Lexus and South County Collision Center. And we are joined again today by Patrick Lustig Jr. Pat, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you with us today. So last time we had you on, we talked a little bit about kind of how you're learning a little bit about all the aspects of the dealership. But going on right now, you folks have a big summer sale happening. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, we have our Golden Opportunity Sales event. It's one of our biggest sales event in the entire year. A lot of different specials with leasing, financing, actually a very large influx in inventory as well with both new and pre-owned. And then with the sale continuing, we're going to see an even larger influx in pre-owned inventory as well with all the trade-ins.
You know, there are some people who like to buy a quality car like a Lexus and keep it for, 10, 12, 15 years. Other people just, they want that new car look and smell and feel and all the new features that come out every year. So some people are, maybe bringing those cars in every 2 or 3 years. Leasing's so popular these days, so you're probably getting some really good pre-owned cars that are in really fine condition. And, once they go through your rehab shop, get checked, all the things get checked out, they're a great car for somebody to buy.
Yeah, of course. And then we have a lot of them that, some that are even maybe a year old at tops. With the new models coming out, a lot of people, they want to have the newest of everything, and so they'll be trading in maybe their 2012 for the 2013.
Right.
We have a lot of the 2013 models already out, which is surprisingly early for the year.
It is indeed. Normally we think of that in maybe late fall is when the next year's models come out. I think all the manufacturers these days, though, are rolling out cars really throughout the year. Maybe they roll out a new car in January, a new car in March, and so you're seeing some of that. So obviously you folks make a wide range of everything from really high performance cars to economy to luxurious, all luxurious of course, all fit and finish is great on all those cars. We had a chance to talk, segment we showed last week from your collision center, and they were talking about the specifications, and the specifications as far as accuracy of panels lining up and all that is actually higher on a Lexus than some other of the top brands. So they're built well, and of course your facility keeps them repaired well as also.
Yeah, so it's just because when it starts out, that product just with such attention to detail, it gives it an incredibly long life expectancy. I mean, one of the things that continues to awe me about Lexus is they send all their engines through an MRI machine, and if they see any little inconsistency, they scrap it. And
An MRI machine?
That's what gives it the difference between putting 100,000 miles and you'll see someone 400,000 miles on the original engine.
That's amazing. Boy, I was not aware of that, so that's an interesting fact to point out to people. And obviously, if someone brings that car in, even with 100,000 miles on it, it used to be, when I was a kid, 100,000 miles, you were really, most odometers only went to 9999, and now they have that extra digit in them, and now people see how many hundreds of thousands they can put on those cars. And again, some of those cars are going to be kept for a long time. Some, like you say, are going to be turned in on a pretty regular basis. And then, of course, you have a lot of people, for whatever financial reasons or business reasons, prefer to lease. So most of those are a 3-year, I guess.
Yeah, 3 years pretty standard, and then occasionally a 48 as well. And then, the nice thing about leasing is that you're not really bound by it. You can look at trading in. Like I said, we have a lot of people that with the new models coming out, they have, maybe they're 1 year into their lease and the new one comes out, and a lot of times we're able to get somebody, say they had the previous model, and we can get them into the new one at a relatively similar payment, occasionally maybe even lower.
Right. It's interesting too. I know when people come in to have their cars serviced in your fine service department there, if it's going to be more than a short servicing, they might get to drive one of your other cars for a day or two. And obviously this is a great sales tool as well, because I think you normally try and put them in something other than the car they brought in. So if they bring in an SUV, you might put them in a sedan, for example.
Yeah, occasionally people, they want to see what the hybrid drive's like, or we, with the new 2013 RXs, we introduced some of them into our loaner fleet. And so, if somebody drives maybe the previous model or even further previous model, they want to look at the 13, they can take it for kind of an extended test drive when they get it as a loaner vehicle.
Yeah. You were telling us last time you were on that actually you've had a couple of instances where people have said, I really like this car. In fact, I want to buy not just one of these, I want to buy this car. And I guess if everything lines up, that's available as well.
Yeah, there's certain people who specifically request certain loaners, and just kind of get a feel for it and eventually, develop an affection for the vehicle, and they want that to be their vehicle.
Right, right. It's the summertime, so obviously it's a good time to get your car in to get those things like air conditioning and brakes and all that checked as well. A lot of people, even though many of our viewers don't work full-time, still they sort of look at summer as the traditional vacation time, so it's a good time to get into that service department and get that car checked out as well.
Yeah, a lot of the times with the heat and everything, air conditioning is a great one, and you want to make sure that the vehicle's taken care of, especially in a time like that, just because there are so many different components going on, especially when the newer models, there's close to about 50 plus different computers in the vehicle. Even computers even in the keys. So it's good just to go through that routine maintenance and inspections.
Right, and again, although today the prices fluctuate all over the place, good gas mileage is always something people want. I read an article recently in a car magazine, and as little as 2 pounds of air pressure difference can make a significant difference in fuel economy. So having those tires checked, and of course most of your new cars now have those automatic devices that actually tell you when your tires are low. So that's a help as well.
Yeah, they have a little gauge basically that lights up on your instrument panel, lets you know. And then actually one of the really nice things with all of our vehicles that we have out for purchase, we actually preload all the tires with nitrogen. Nitrogen, it's a molecule, it's about 5 times larger than oxygen, so it's less likely to seep through the sidewalls. You're not going to see that much of a difference in pounds per square inch of pressure. And when you don't see that, you're seeing about 10% better fuel economy. You're not seeing irregular wear on tires, so you're saving money on tires. There's a huge benefit to having nitrogen in your tires.
Right, and I know a lot of places charge extra for that, so to have your car actually delivered with that in it is a good feature that you folks do. And of course, if you're going to be going on an extended trip, you do want to get that checked out, and probably all the fluids and all that as well. I know you had a chance to work in the service department for a while, so you kind of got to see all that as well. I would imagine that, as is the case with most of the companies today, your fleet of technicians are really trained by the factory engineers and really go back for lots of updates and upgrading on their training.
Oh yeah, they have extensive certifications that they have to go through, and then we even have we have an LFA on our showroom floor, which is the Lexus supercar, and our shop foreman's the only one that got certified for it, and he had incredibly rigorous certifications just to be able to start that car. Nobody's allowed to touch that car except for him.
And I think you have it in the last time we were there, they had it in kind of a special place, actually all in a separate little showroom by itself.
Yeah, we moved it around. We used to have it in the atrium. Now we put it on the showroom. We have it kind of roped off with velvet rope. We just kind of made it a little bit more accessible, because when the atrium you can see it, but on the showroom now people can get a little bit closer and kind of really get a feel for it as best as they can.
Yeah, I know we saw that a couple of years ago at the Long Beach Grand Prix in the display area inside, and it had as many people around it as shall we say some of those Italian cars that shall remain nameless, but are very, very expensive. And that car the LFA was drawing lots of attention from the motor racing crowd at the Long Beach Grand Prix, so that's super. Hey, you've got an event coming up tomorrow night, a chance for the folks that own your cars to come in and have a little party time and meet your staff and talk about what's going on. That's your owner event tomorrow night.
Yeah, our new owners event. We have them once a month, the last Wednesday of every month at 6 o'clock. And basically what it is anybody who's new to the brand, new to the dealership, new to the service drive, anything like that, they can come in. We have we have food and appetizers, a lot of good socializing. And then my father, general manager, gets up and has a little spiel and talks to everybody. And we have all of our vehicle delivery specialists, majority of our sales staff and management and service representatives there to answer any questions. My personal favorite part is we actually go into the service bay, kind of give people a first-hand experience of what goes on back there. And in the past, we had a vehicle up on the racks, and they're evening out the rotors and replacing brake pads, just so you can kind of see, exactly what goes on back there, so you can know what happens to your vehicle.
I think for most of us, the days of working on our cars in our driveway or garage are pretty much gone. Partly because of those 50 computers that we're talking about, and partly because, face it, as we get to be a certain age, we don't want to do those kinds of things anymore. But more importantly, it's being done by some highly trained technicians, and like you mentioned, the certification is very important there. So I think that helps demystify the program, the fact that people are actually able to see your service department and be a part of all that. That's tomorrow night, that new owners event, and that's 6 to 8 tomorrow evening over there at the dealership. For those that have never been there, I guess the best way to tell folks is you're kind of near Saddleback College, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're on Marguerite, just between Avery and Saddleback College, really close to the mall. can't really see us from the freeway, so it's not like we're in an auto mall drawing in a lot of traffic, but you know, if you pass by, it's kind of hard to miss it. Big white building, a lot of palm trees.
You're just one street off the freeway there,
Yeah,
so it's
exactly,
very conveniently located as well. And I guess for service, I mean, the best thing to do is call and make an appointment, make sure that there's a space available for you there, and more importantly, maybe a new loaner car for you to drive, something different that you don't normally drive, and that's a fun experience to check that out. Hey, thanks for joining us. Good to have you
thanks for
back
having
with
me.
us. And again, that sale going on this next few weeks.
Yeah, so it'll be going on all throughout August. We started a little bit earlier. It is our August sales event, but start a little early and it's going to go all through August.
So whether you're looking for a very fine quality pre-owned Lexus or a brand new one, you can check all those out down there at the dealership. And Patrick and his dad and all the staff down there would like to see you come on by and learn more about what's going on at South County Lexus. Thanks for being with us today. Good to have
Thanks.
you with us. Patrick Lustig Jr., and again, a gentleman getting very much involved in helping his dad run that dealership down there right near Saddleback College. We'll be coming back with more of what's happening around your busy community right after this.